big voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago tribe.
KWTN 100.9 FM. Welcome to Winnebago Talks here, and it's a beautiful Tuesday. We'd like to welcome those that are going to be joining us. My name is Garan Coons, Communications Officer for the Winnebago Tribe. I'm joined by Bethani Redhorn, who is the Big Voice Radio Manager and also the Communications Office Manager. I believe Tyler is going to be joining us a little bit later on, and we do have some guests, and we have a whole slew of things that we want to talk about and a whole heap of information that we want to talk about here today. But I'd like to welcome in a good friend here, and he works for the Ho-Chunk Farms, Mr. Aaron LaPointe. And, you know, I really appreciate you coming up, Aaron, and we're just going to go right into kind of your section, and you have some good updates for the people, and we'll just turn it over to you.
You could turn it towards you a little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right, Mr. Aaron LaPointe.
All right, so today I wanted to hop on the show. I'm actually representing the Pony Express division today, which is one of the divisions that I oversee now. I used to just be at Ho-Chunk Farms. Now I got quite a few different businesses, and this is Pony Express is one of the divisions that I've been having to focus on quite a bit recently.
Yeah, man.
There's a
Congratulations on the promotion.
Definitely.
I know it's like responsibility and stuff. I seen the posting there that you're going to take on more kind of entities and leadership roles and stuff like that. So good job, man, and looking forward to that. Yep.
I'm actually an employee of Ho-Chunk Inc. now, not just Ho-Chunk Farms. So I'm part of the corporate staff. So it's been a learning experience for sure. But I think it's kind of cool just being born and raised here, lived here my whole life, and being able to find
Isn't
ways
it, man?
to give back.
I mean, just to kind of give you a backstory and stuff, we were just talking about the Christmas holiday lighting contest, and Jerome was the one, we called him, we were in a staff meeting, and we were just like, hey, I just want to let my staff know, because he sat me down and kind of told me the backstory and stuff, but I just kind of wanted to let you know about this holiday lighting contest. At one time, one person, that was old lady Neola Walker, used her own money to fund that contest, and then she would also go and get Christmas gifts for those that were in need and stuff out of her own pocket. And then after she passed, you know, Jerome had the thought and feeling to continue it on, and you know, it's grown. Now you look at some of those entities that are sponsoring, you know, like Winnebago, Warhorse, HCI, the hospital. You know, it's just like really cool that, you know, from our beginnings now to kind of like where we're going and continue to grow.
Yep, and then the prize money, geez. Third place is $1,000. I'd be happy with third place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to come on and share some information with the community. We're trying our best to continue to be transparent with our community, with our tribal leadership, and all the different things that Ho-Chunk is doing. And one of the big things that is going to be happening in the near future is the shutdown of the pony market in Winnebago.
Oh, really?
So the pony market in Winnebago, which is where the laundromat is, where Native Star is, the last day of operations there is going to be December 15th. And we've been rolling out a plan of what this looks like. And I mean, it's closing for many reasons. We've had to evaluate this location quite a bit. And honestly, I think we've tried to shut it down a few times because it really struggles with its location, with the age of the building, just overall struggle. And one thing that I would really like to see for our community is a new store, like this huge, big, nice. I don't know if you guys, when you guys travel up north or head up to, like, I think about Minnesota and those areas where you go to those quick trips and it's like a gas station, a grocery store, and it's like, and then a place to eat, and it's this huge all-in-one stop type of deal. Yeah. And right now we have like our gas station at the Pony, and we have our market that kind of offers some produce, some meat, and it's like, if we're trying to find ways to maximize our entities, if we could bring that together and consolidate overhead and offer something new, something nice and big that our community deserves, that's kind of our goal for it. And we've been struggling with that location. I mean, it's a headache trying to keep it running. I mean, from air conditioning to plumbing to, like, the building has really just lived its life. And instead of just pouring money into it, putting Band-Aids on it, it's like, let's just start fresh. Let's start something. I think our community deserves this nice big store. Yeah. So that's our goal, and a part of the plan to get to that is includes shutting down the location. Yeah. But we understand that location offers a lot to our community, and a lot of our employees, they love going there. I mean, our employees love their job, and they love their customer base. It might not seem like it on paper that anybody goes there, but it does serve us a purpose in our community at that location. So we didn't want to lose that for our community members. So a lot of that stuff is going to be spread out within our entities here in Winnebago. So I have a list here, but like the fresh produce, so Sweetwater Cafe is actually going to start selling fresh produce and have a kind of a market feel to it. You can go there and still get your coffee and stuff. We got inspired by the bodega styles in New York City, where you can stop and grab a coffee, but they also offer produce and like fresh goods there.
Yeah.
So to kind of still continue to offer that to our community, we're going to expand that into the Sweetwater, and the Sweetwater is now going to be open till 6:00. So it'll complement the time for people to get there after work if they want to get their fresh produce, whatever that looks like. But it also gives them an opportunity to expand their hours, expand more jobs, because one of the main focuses through this closure was our employees. We have 7 employees there. What does that look like for them?
Yeah.
So we made sure we put a transition plan together for them, whether it's going to Sweetwater, whether it's going to the Pony North, whether it's going somewhere within our entity, or I mean, we're offering a great severance package for them too. Like, we want to make sure that they're our priority through this transition. And as of right now, I know every employee that I've talked to and that HR has talked to, they want to stick with the company. So with the extension of Pony Express hours and Sweetwater, we have positions for them just to move into. And hopefully once the new store is built, they're back to their home and they can go and run that facility for us. So I know the community might be thinking, well, how am I going to get my produce? How am I going to cash my check? I know that's a big service we do down there.
Right.
We have the water bottling, the reverse osmosis machine down there where you can go fill your big 5-gallon jugs of fresh water. So we didn't want to lose all of that. And WIC is somewhat a big thing down there, not as much as people actually think, but we still want to offer that to our community. So the Pony North will expand their inventory to offer WIC. So they'll be certified to sell WIC at the Pony North. And this is all temporary. It's going to be uncomfortable for a little bit. How are we going to make this transition work? Hopefully it's very short term. Hopefully we can get this new plan put together and get this construction built, and then everything, boom, we're back to something big and nice for our community. But in the meantime, we needed to make these changes to make it feasible for us.
Yeah.
So the Pony North, like I said, it will expand its hours. They'll be open till midnight now, and they'll be offering WIC, EBT. They already took EBT, but I think the expansion of their grocery with what the with the market. We analyze the market. What's our top selling items? What is some stuff that just expires all the time? Well, let's not waste shelf space if it's going to be condensed. So we evaluated that. We evaluated the Pony Express, and we're really going to try and optimize the space as best we can for the short term.
Right.
And then the check cashing, that was a big thing that people worried about. So if you've noticed out at the Pony North, I believe it's all set up and good to go now. We have a check cashing machine. So instead of going to the window, you just go to the machine. And it actually may help because it's actually expanded the amount of different types of checks we can do.
Okay.
We only used to do tribal HCI checks, I think government checks, and then that was it. But now we've expanded it to just about anybody can cash any check there. So we are continuing to offer that service. It's just at the Pony North. Okay. And then once we open our new store, it'll have a check cashing machine instead of designated a whole area for somebody to stand there and cash your check. So it's kind of our way of stepping into the new technology and stuff and implementing it there, and then we can also carry it over long term to the new facility. Then the water, that was kind of another thing. People were like, I like to go and fill my 5-gallon jugs of water up. So that'll be offered at HCI distribution and at Sweetwater too. But the reverse osmosis machine will actually be at distribution, and you can go there and buy your water. We'll have somebody there you go ring the doorbell, somebody's going to come up, hey, how many jugs are you filling? Then they'll fill them for you and make the transaction happen right there. Okay. Because we understand it's important, and we're spending a lot of money to get this transitioned over to distribution, just so that we can continue to offer that service. It's a little different, but it's all short term. Our new location is going to have this, but we just wanted to make sure that didn't die with the closure of that facility. So we will be offering that. That'll be at HCI distribution, and then Sweetwater for after hours too. So the hours on distribution is still to be determined because there's a process that we have to get in place there. But Sweetwater for sure. The laundromat's going to continue to stay open. We're going to operate it for now. We're trying to work with some local entities to see if they maybe want to take it over. We still understand it's a service.
Yeah.
We don't want to shut it down, but yeah, it just got to the point with that facility being so old that we needed to do something. And the laundromat will continue, and we'll continue to manage it. If there's any local entities that are any local entrepreneurs that are like, hey, I wouldn't mind running a laundromat.
Right.
Hey, reach out to me, because
Okay.
we're open to doing something.
Okay.
And
I think like HCCDC, Tony Wood's program, and those guys too, they help out if you're interested in
Small business loan.
Yeah, small business loan, or just having that business plan, that idea and everything. And if that's something that you're kind of want to set your own hours, be your own boss and things like that, being a small business owner is for you.
Yep, and we really haven't made a full decision on the laundromat, so we're open to any real suggestions when it comes to that. But for the short term, we're going to run it just like we have in the past. So
Okay.
But definitely open to any options there. And then the big thing with the market is inventory. I mean, it's a big store. That's not all moving to the Pony, so we're gonna take what we can, but we'll probably start to see some big donations to Boys and Girls Club or Senior Center, whatever type of inventory we can donate to any of the local entities or programs. So that's going to be our job for the next couple of months, is cleaning that place out, because it does have a lot of stuff. But yeah, that was one of the things that I want to talk about today, because that's really the next big thing. And to kind of elaborate more, one of the big things is the new store. I mean, that's where the talk is now. Like, well, what's this place going to look like? And we're really in the planning stages. I just most recently met with tribal council, and they gave me a verbal approval to move forward with experimenting with a new location. Okay. But there's a lot that needs to go into that. I mean, there's building permits, there's environmental assessments that need to be done, and that's what we're working on now. I just got done meeting with our tribes engineer this morning about, hey, what's the next steps? And
even down to like getting the traffic into the store has to be planned out. And it's just like, wow, you never really think about that. You know what I mean? It's something that you pull up to a store, but there's a lot of man hours and there's just a lot of time that was put into the thought of how that traffic's going to flow. You know what I mean? So Winnebago is pretty unique in that, you know, we split off. We have that roundabout. It's 75 into 77. And I think, probably a long time ago, there was about 6,000 cars that would go through Winnebago each day. I would imagine it's probably tripled by now.
We're up to 10,000 vehicles
every day.
Wowzers.
And that was a big part of our feasibility study when we developed our business plan for this new store. Was they did a traffic assessment, and our current location where the market is, they miss half the traffic because they miss everybody coming on that highway to the roundabout. So by moving our location north of that roundabout, it's going to double our throughput, which is the vehicles passing by. And that's just going to give us a better opportunity for profitability, visibility. And one of our main goals for this also is, since we're going to have grocery and all this, we want it to be in walking distance. So we want to make sure that there's availability for people to walk to the location. Like, we don't want to go throw it way out where the Pony is. Because people, if you don't have a vehicle and you need food, you're going to walk. And I would hate for them to stop at DG and get that instead of what they could get at our store. So I think that's kind of a part of our plan, is to make sure it's in walking distance for the community, but doing it in the best way possible, not sacrificing anything for this location, whether we're giving up water quality or like congesting traffic, whatever that might be. We're going to do our best to plan around that and mitigate it and make sure we do everything right. And we're pretty excited about it. It's going to be it's one of my first big projects in my new role. And I want to make sure it happens and it's done right, and everything works out well for our community, because I think it would be great. I mean, I don't know how many people have gone down to Pender and gone to their community store. I really like that layout where they have a meat section. They have a whole
I'll give you a little secret there, man. Like, I like to grill. And for some reason, I'm the other ones in Sioux City and stuff like that. But the ribeyes over there, you got to try them, Aaron.
I go down there and get meat all the time.
I was like, wow, this is like a kind of best known secret. But anyways, you have a gas station, you have a meat market, and you kind of have the fresh produce and kind of like an all-in-one. There's a place there where people can have some coffee. Also, you know, if you are going to grab some fast food, some chicken or something like that. So that's what the new vision is going to look like.
Yep. It'll have the some sort of, I think we're even looking at possibly franchising some sort of food place there, whether it's like a Subway, a Godfather's or something to add to the selection in the community. But then also that fresh produce, the meat, limited grocery. I mean, it's not gonna be a full-on grocery store because it's still a convenience stop, but it'll offer much more than what we currently offer. And the big thing is it's gonna help us consolidate. I mean, I think a lot of our entities in the community understand we sometimes struggle with staffing some of these things to stay open till midnight, to stay open late. Like if we can consolidate our staff and just get the best of the best, and well, I mean we've been having to shut down because of staffing at Sweetwater, different things like that. It's like, well, if our employee pool is struggling, we need to find ways to consolidate and manage that pool that we have, and this is kind of one of our ways of doing that too. We want to be able to have it very well staffed. So the Pony Express would close once this new location opens because it will offer everything that the Pony offers and that the market offers. So
okay. And then Pony Express itself, you have other locations. Salone is one up there in kind of South Sioux City.
We got Atticat, Emerson.
Yeah, that's right.
Rosalie. We got 6 locations right now. We used to have 7 before the market closed. So
and then
when it closes.
Do you just call them like Pony Express Winnebago?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the one that's going to be closing at this location, and it's not goodbye, it's see you later. Basically, that's what we're kind of trying to announce.
There's going to be a new and improved market coming. And
sure.
Like I like the Pony or the store in Pender calls it the community store, and I like it to be called something like that, not the truck stop. Like this is the community store of that. I mean, we want Sweetgrass Trading Group products in there. Like we want it to be all in one stop area to where you can get what you need. So
one of the things too is like I know Nebraska is known as a pass-through state. I just recently got back from Colorado Springs, and tourism is huge out there. And then you go over to like Minnesota and kind of Michigan area, tourism is huge. For Native Americans in general and stuff like that, the number one business, of course, is casinos, and then the number 2 is tourism. You know what I mean? Like bringing some of those relatives and bringing some of their visitors and stuff here. There's no kind of one-stop shop to maybe do some shopping if they visit the Winnebago reservation. So I think that'll be a very, very, very good idea and stuff.
Yeah. No, we're excited, and I feel like it's kind of long overdue. We've been in that market location for a while, and I think that building's just lived its life, and it's time for us our community is growing and everything is so beautiful. Why not have this huge, beautiful store for us as well? So
right. I tell you what, I'm gonna date myself. I don't know if Aaron, but I remember when that place opened down there. I remember the ribbon cutting ceremony and everything when they had the first, and it was a different layout because it went around, and it was this where Native Star is, the casino. That was kind of, there was like a restaurant in there and stuff, and I remember just going in there the first day. I was just like, wow, now on December 15th we're gonna have to go down there and take some archive footage, make sure the Winnebago Indy News gets there and everything too, and then we'll be there for the grand opening of the new place.
Nope, I'm excited. I remember the store. Like I think what the Native Star was like a little restaurant. I think my sister used to work there or something. Right. Like a little place to eat, and
get some
it was
pizza.
all one big store.
And then what you used to be able to do too is rent videos back in the day, almost like a little Blockbuster and stuff like that. But yeah, they had a little section of videos that you can get. Because I remember I rented Austin Powers when it came out, and I was like, wow, this movie is weird, but that's crazy. So we appreciate the update, Aaron. Yes. I think that all the workers and everything like that, and one of the main things is that HCI is going to take care of. You know what I mean? I noticed that at the employee holiday celebrations that you guys had yours this weekend in Sioux City, and it turned out really well. And there's people that say, geez man, they get all good, go apply, you know what I mean? Same thing for the Winnebago tribe, you know what I mean? Like we got some good benefits as well, and we just want to make sure. Little Priest I watched the live stream of the tribal council meeting yesterday, and they presented a lot of things that they're starting to build a new building and getting all this funding, and kind of just like, wow, even the council is just like, man, keep up the good work. And how many graduates they had, and they had over 200 graduates come out from Little Priest. And so once you get that job, you can go either to the tribe, HCI, Winnebago, the hospital, whatever, and stuff like that. So it's just still continuing on, man. And you have a big hand in that. So
strong economy here in Winnebago with many opportunities. And I think I just seen a social media post about like how fortunate we are in Winnebago for all the different things from college programming, employment opportunities. And it's not just employment opportunities, it's career opportunities. I mean, you can build a career in certain areas in Winnebago where it really wasn't that before. And I mean, to me, I always say this is just the beginning. I mean, we're about to see an evolution of our community, and hopefully it's in the best interest of all of us, and it looks good for us. So I'm excited. I think everybody in Winnebago should be proud of what Winnebago's doing and how fortunate we are to have what we have. So
we broadcast from Ellen, Nebraska. That's the city of license, and we're here in Winnebago, Nebraska. But for those listeners that are in Wakefield, and they tune in as well, try to get the latest news on Winnebago. Aaron, you're the Ho-Chunk Farms. For those that don't know about Ho-Chunk Farms and stuff, like, I never thought in a million years and stuff we would be in like farming business. You know what I mean? It's just something that when growing up, never really thought of. I grew up in like central Winnebago. My dad, my mom live up there on the hill, but I never grew up on a farm or anything like that. You know what I mean? So,
me neither.
kind of like tell them like the evolution and the thought and the idea, and then like where it's at and where it's growing and where it's going.
Yeah. No. Well, just like you, didn't grow up on a farm either. And when I was in college to start at Briar Cliff, I was in environmental science. I was actually working at the EPA here in Winnebago in the summers, and then that's where I got an understanding of, man, we got a lot of land here, and we don't really use any of it. And around that same time, they started Ho-Chunk Farms. That was back in 2012, so I'd have been a sophomore in college or junior in college. Yeah. And they started it, so I'm like, man, that's really cool there. I think there's a real opportunity there. So that's what caused me to study it. And so when I transferred to UNL and understood that they had a great ag program there, that's really where it started. And then Ho-Chunk Farms was kind of just getting started. And then when I came back in 2016, it was like, man, I think we were farming like 900 acres or something. Like, we were just trying to get land as fast as we could at that point. Yeah. And I came in as an intern, and then after graduating, they brought me on full time. And I really seen that. I mean, we have our largest resource here for the reservation, for the tribe, our largest resource is our land. I mean, that's our largest asset. And we were really getting the most minimal return on it. I mean, when you're renting it, that's about the least amount of value that it has to you. So I was like, well, if we're occupying it, we're making money on it, then we're continuing to add value and add returns to that largest asset. So why shouldn't a tribal entity that the tribe owns be farming all of it? Right. So that they have a potential upside in revenue on those pieces. So that was kind of the thought, and it's like, well, let's get as much as we can. The farmers are a huge part of our economy in Winnebago still. We don't want to just say, oh, you're out of here, but let's take what we can, and let's make a transition. And over the last 7 years, we've gone from 900 acres to, in 2024, we'll be about 7,000 acres. But we've been buying too. So like Ho-Chunk Farms has bought land. The tribe has really made a huge effort in buying land in the past about 2 years. Yeah. And I'm really excited to say that they allow me to help them assess the land that's for sale, different things like that. And I want to say, just in the last 2 years, the tribe has bought nearly 400 acres, which to me is a lot of land, especially in a high land market. So I got to give a shout out to our leadership. They've really prioritized that and made a conscious effort to do that. And I think our last land sale, our tribal leadership probably wasn't the biggest fan of me, because it was like, hurry up, we got to get this done. It was like kind of a rush thing, but they were able to get it done. Now it's kind of cool to see our government really prioritize something like that. Yeah. And that's what's allowed us to grow, really. When they buy land and we can occupy it, that's really where the opportunity is. So, I mean, our goal is to one day farm all the tribe's land, all the allottees' land on the reservation. And our tribe's goal is to buy the reservation back. So why shouldn't Ho-Chunk Farms be farming our entire reservation in 50, 100 years? I mean, that should be our goal. But we got to be realistic in the current times and do what we can to get there. We're even exploring potentially working with the Omaha tribe, because their tribal farm was shut down not too long ago. And we farm almost all the tribe's land and a majority of the allotment land. So our growth in acres has really kind of leveled out over the past couple of years. And we want to grow. We want more. Because the more land that we farm, the more jobs we can offer on the back end, the more equipment we can buy to do more. So, but when we're limited to some of that, then there's a struggle there. But yeah, we're at 7,000 acres. We just received a grant through the Food Sovereignty Task Force to start our poultry operation, which we've received a few in the past, but with the increase in materials and a shift in the project, We've actually gotten that fully funded. So in 2024, we'll be launching our poultry operation, which we're
Wow.
extremely excited about because it'll include
Yes.
processing. So it'll be meat birds. We were talking about egg layers. We've totally shifted that. We'll be raising meat birds, and all of our organic farming, which of our 7,000 acres, 1,000 of it certified organic. So a lot of what we sell those grains to is organic poultry producers on the East Coast. So we'll be raising our own feed
Yeah.
for our chickens. And then I always say, I think it was last year was our biggest year. We spent $750,000 on chicken manure alone, just the poop. So we need some of that. We need to start
Yeah.
making some of that ourselves. So
Yeah.
this will be a way of fully vertically integrating that business together and bringing food sovereignty to us. I mean, we're going to be
Yeah.
raising our own chickens. I mean, this is food sovereignty. This is land sovereignty. We're taking control of
Yes.
how our land is managed, and we're finding more value because, I mean, we used to look at our land as, oh, we're going to get $200 an acre. Now we can look at it as, oh, we're adding value through manure fertilizing it, and then it's raising a feed for our chickens that we're going to feed and harvest that our own tribal members are working at and processing, and it's in our new store that we're selling. So, I mean, who are we depending on at that point? Nobody.
Right.
We're doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's true sovereignty when you're not dependent on anybody.
Yeah.
So when we can start really pushing more efforts like that together, we do a lot of cattle too. Like this past year, I think we turned about 500 head of cattle, which, I mean, I don't know, close to $1 million in revenue.
Wow.
And it's kind of experimenting with that industry, but we feel very comfortable in there now to where hopefully maybe this year we've requested some funding to maybe start raising our own cattle ourselves, which is a job for somebody. Probably 2 jobs actually. The poultry operation could be a job for somebody. I mean, it's just our way of. I mean, I feel like the opportunities are endless in this industry. We're just barely getting started. Even though 7,000 acres is probably one of the largest farms in the area, we're just getting started. I mean, there's so much more that we can be doing. And
Definitely.
And the element of land sovereignty, that's really what I've tried to focus on the last couple of years because, I mean, we've always had access to land. And once we got almost all of it that our tribe owns, it's like, well, now we really need to start looking at our entire reservation. There's a lot of non-natives that own land on our reservation. How do we start to work with them to buy them out? If their family isn't interested in farming, why can't we do that? I mean, we have this ag program at Little Priest that we just started last year. We're educating our locals on agriculture. And I was really fortunate enough to be on that advisory board to design the curriculum to fit what Ho-Chunk Farms is doing, what Tribal Farms is doing. So we're creating our next leaders that understand our vision, and instead of just learning how to go operate a big sprayer or a big tractor, because maybe we don't need that. Maybe organic farming is our alley.
Right.
So we have that diversified ag program that really is going to introduce a lot of our tribal members to a broad spectrum of ag. And there's so many working parts right now. It's kind of cool to see it really taking off. And I got to give a shout out to my operations team because they just had their first year of harvest. I don't know if you guys see me about a combine. Pretty cool deal.
Well, I was going to say, man, back in the days and stuff, we used to watch the rap videos and they had rims and stuff like that. And then I never thought, like, maybe you were dreaming, and I was dreaming about the big rims and stuff like that. But, man, you guys got some rims on that combine. You know what I mean? They're huge. Everybody's like, man, I got the 22-inch rims and stuff like that. I don't know what a combine.
Come pulling up on that thing.
Yeah, we brought it down to Educare for the community helpers or whatever, so the kids got to come out and get on it. And like, shoot, we could fit a classroom in one of the wheels, like when they're taking pictures on it.
Dang. I don't know if we have a picture of that
Yeah, I
under
can grab it.
Facebook and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just like just kind of a NEBA.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just kind of getting some of that, getting the experience, and just making sure that, like you said, true sovereignty and stuff. So good words there, man, and keep up the good work on the Ho-Chunk Farms and stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's
Right
very...
here. This one?
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
my
that
team
is-
right there too. Yeah.
And then so what happened on this one? You guys just kind of finished up a successful harvest?
Yep. This would have been their first year of 100% operations on about 3,000 acres.
Wow.
They did all by themselves from planting. We do have to hire out the spraying on our conventional stuff, but then they went in and harvested. So we bought that combine this year. Another part of that equipment is the auger wagon that we bought, which isn't in the picture. And then a lot of those guys are truck drivers too. So we're trucking everything out. Our lead, the operations supervisor there, Jeff Thomas Jr., right in the middle. Then going from left to right, I got John Barrage Sr., Cadge Thomas, Tristan Fierro, Lucian Decora, Christian Roberts, and then Jason Hewlett was a contract truck driver for us this year because we keep buying more equipment and we haven't really backfilled on operators. And it's not easy to operate that. That's a $400,000 machine right there.
Wow.
We're not just going to throw anybody in there.
Yeah.
So So
Yeah.
we had to make sure that we had the right team, and Jason was open to coming and helping us throughout the harvest season. So I got to give a shout out to them, because those guys work till 2 a.m. every night. They work Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They would work for 14 days straight.
Yeah.
From the sun up to sundown. So I have to give those guys a shout out for taking that on, because it's hard on their families. It's hard on them physically. It's a lot of work. So,
it's Christmas time. I really want to share a story about Aaron and Jason. Is that our relatives to the kind of west out there, the Ogallala Lakota, a lot of my relatives and stuff. And I know that Aaron had the thought and feeling. I think they suffered a kind of a huge flood. And, you can send money or whatever, what kind of resources we had. And you had hay. And I think you needed to send some of that, because they needed that to make sure that they get traction. And there's this, make sure that...
A lot of those guys are livestock. They raise a lot of livestock up there, too. Those tribes are cattlemen.
Right. It was very needed. It was like an emergency type of thing and stuff. And you took the time out to kind of do that donation and stuff, and which I think is really admirable, because nobody else was coming in to help. You know what I mean? I mean, shoot. And I think like HCI Farms and just in general and stuff, if there's something like that, we'll try to kind of sit down and make sure, or drop everything and make sure that we try to help out as well and stuff. In addition to try to make sure that, all the regulations and the operations continue on this side too as well and stuff. So I remember that story, and just kind of want to share that and stuff. You know what I mean? Is that now a lot of corporations, they're just worried about the bottom line.
Yeah.
But it seems like HCI and HCI Farms and stuff, it's kind of those humanitarian needs, and especially to other brothers and sisters that are Native nations.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of our mission. It's written in our mission to be a social economic development corporation. It's not just an economic development corporation. There's a social aspect to it, to make sure that we're taking care of people, not only our own people, but Indian country.
Yeah. We
host hundreds of tribes that come and look at, what is Ho-Chunk Inc. doing? How are you guys so successful? Well, here, you can do it too. Most people are like, no, this is what we're doing. We don't want to create our own competitors, any of that. No, we want to bring people with us. Come on, let's all be successful. There's room for everybody at the table.
Definitely.
And we try our best to acknowledge a lot of that stuff, and do our best to take care of people.
For sure.
One of our big things too, for a lot of the listeners too, with our Indian corn project this year, having such a plentiful crop, we're able to do the funeral donations again, which sadly we've had to use a lot of it recently, because we've had a lot of community members leave us. But that is available for tribal members that pass away. They can reach out to myself, Jeff Thomas, Corey Cleveland, our new farms manager. Reach out to us. We'll donate 2 quarts to you. We have a huge set aside just for funerals, and I know 2 quarts isn't enough, but it at least helps out a little bit on that burden of. I mean, corn ain't cheap nowadays either, because it's hard to get.
Right.
So we've been able to kind of restock and offer that back to the community, which last year we didn't have that because of the drought, but this year we made a few different changes and we're able to have a successful crop. So I want to make sure the community understands that too, that if you're ever in need from have a tribal member pass away, and whatever that might be, just reach out, and we'll try our best to get it there as soon as we can. So
cool. That is a good service. And so just to recap, kind of a FYI, the last day for the market down here, downtown Winnebago, is going to be December 15th on Friday.
Yep.
I think you guys will probably close a usual time. What time you guys?
Yep, probably. It'll just be like a regular day, and then they'll be shut down after that.
Okay. And then it's not goodbye, because they are having plans, and they're currently in the planning process of a all-in-one somewhere on kind of maybe the north side of town, or will be in the middle of town, you think?
As long as it's north of that roundabout, that's our goal.
Okay.
We have a couple sites that we've identified.
Yeah.
But we have to do the environmental assessments. We have to work with DOT if they'll even let us build it there. We're really starting to push that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the next 2 weeks, I'm probably going to know a ton more than I do today.
Okay.
But just in the last week and a half, I got approval to move forward with a potential site.
Yeah.
Which would be the ideal place for us, but we have to understand all those other aspects. So we're making those plans to do that.
Winnebago is very unique in that we have a railroad to the south of us, and then I think there's a creek over there as well and stuff, and then we have the township kind of on the east side of town and stuff. So it's a little tough, you know what I mean?
It makes it hard.
You go towards Lincoln, and a lot of truck drivers like to come through and stuff, but they like the 4 lanes. I don't think there's any plans anytime in the near future to get a 4-lane. You think of Lamar's. You used to have to go through Lamar's, but now you just kind of go around it and stuff. And there's other towns that are like that, but Winnebago might not be on the anytime soon.
Yeah, we understand that building something like this isn't gonna. I mean, if we can get it to profitability, great. But it's more of a community service. I mean, I think we can do our best, and we're in the position at Chunk Inc. to approach it and with a business mindset to be profitable. But in the end, we do need to make sure we're contributing to our community when it comes to access, when it comes to convenience of our community members. So we're going to try our best. This is one of our efforts of, I mean, I'm not going to say publicly, but I mean about how much money we lose, but that market really struggles. So from a profitability standpoint, if there's a way that we can at least slow that down, we're going to do it. That's our job as people running these businesses. That's what we're hired to do. So we're going to do our best without losing that community aspect of it, that community access, the community service that we're offering to people, because it's important that our community has a store. I mean,
just from grandma trying to cash her check. Instead of trying to find a ride up to Sioux City or whatever and stuff like that is very important.
Or you need a quick cucumber or tomato or a pound of hamburger, like having
in the middle
access.
of making your pasta or something, right down to the store.
And just I mean I know it's limited because we don't have a huge, like, people can go to Hy-Vee nowadays. It used to be much different, but a lot of people, I mean, will go to Hy-Vee, they'll go to Walmart to get their groceries. But if you can have that select items that people like, convenience, like, oh, I need to go grab this, grab that, like, that's kind of the target market that we're looking for. On top of that, I mean, our gas and tobacco sales, that drives a lot of our community development because that's all taxed by the tribe and it goes into the tribal tax but funding. So I think that's still an important aspect of our business, is making sure we're selling fuel and tobacco, because it really does, I mean, it is a big contributor to the whole tax pool that our tribe operates, that uses to fund different programs, or I'm not sure exactly how it's used anymore, but I mean, it's a decent amount of money that goes in for tax revenue for our tribe. So there's still that important component of fuel and tobacco. So, and the tobacco is important because we're making it ourselves up here too. I mean, making our own tobacco, things like that. We got tribal members that work up there. We want that factory to be running and continuing to create jobs. So we still have to push that as well. So
for sure. Well, thank you for that update. Go ahead, Bethany.
I was going to say, so in the beginning of the conversation, you touched on the cash check-in and stuff. I noticed, I went to the gas station Pony, I think it was like on Friday, but there's like a new machine that's inside of the Pony over there. And I was like, I wonder who I could ask about that. But is it like it's a check cashing machine? And so will that just be, is that just like temporary, or is that just going to be something that's always going to be available now?
It's temporary at the Pony, just because that was a huge service the market did. And so we wanted to make sure it was still being offered. So it's at the Pony now. In the future, that'll probably be at the new store too. I mean, that's kind of where people are going, because having one person designated to cash checks, which happens probably for a couple hours a day or whatever. I mean, this is the most efficient way probably to do it. And so it's temporary at the Pony, but it'll be kind of the new way that checks are being cashed. But it's allowing us to take on more checks too, because before we'd get burned on some checks, and it's like, oh, we got to eat that, like that. We struggled with that. But with this check cashing machine, the people that own the people that run the software, they actually take the risk of that, and they just take a small portion of the fee, which mitigates a lot of risk on our end, and it allows us to, instead of just taking tribal and HCI and government checks, they can, I mean, I think it even cashes what are those things you buy at the post office? Money orders. You can cash money orders, like personal checks out there. I mean,
that's cool.
It's like a touch screen too. I just looked at it. I didn't like mess with it or nothing.
It wasn't cheap, so it better be nice.
For sure.
But we want to make sure, because that's a big part. I mean, I was real proud of our employees down at the store too, because you would think, oh man, my store's closing, like where's my job? A lot of their concerns were their customers and the community, like what the services that they do. So that just shows that they're there for the right reason. And we wrote this plan out of like, what are those things? What are the main things that these people come in for? And that's why we're dispersing that, so it's still here, just in a different capacity, short term. I mean, that's going to be a part of the new facility too, but instead of shutting the market down and be like, oh, you cash a check in a couple of years and we build a new thing. No, let's get a machine. Let's move our WIC options out there. Let's get fresh produce at Sweetwater, different things like that. So, but don't get me wrong, we're going to take care of our employees. A lot of them are going to stay. We have retention bonuses. We have, like, we're going to make sure that they're okay, because I mean, it's the holidays. It's not probably not the ideal time, but we're going to make sure that they're all right. So
when's the last day again?
15th.
December 15th.
December 15th.
Yep, it's the end of a pay period, and like the charge accounts and stuff are already cleared out. A lot of people paid off their charge accounts, and they can still do it at the Pony. But yeah, we're making that transition, and I know it's probably gonna be tough on the community. It's probably not the most popular thing, but I mean, it's something that has to happen for us to move forward and get something new. And
well, a good way to look at it too.
sacrifice.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Aaron. A good way to look at it too is like in the past, like the ones that have stood in that same capacity in that same area, and they're no longer there anymore, and it kind of transitioned into the heritage.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's just kind of like another change.
Yep. And trust me, it's gonna be a good change.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what it's gonna look like, and we're not cutting the budget for the design because we want to have like the 3D rendering so you could actually see like what it's like going into the new store.
Nice.
So we can have a visual to show everybody like this is what's coming.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
we'll be sharing a lot of that information in the future.
Right on. So, little kind of, I don't want to say bad news or anything like that, but it's the end of an era for that store down there. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people probably used it at one time in their life if they live in Winnebago or around the area. And we're going to be planning for a new, updated, and brand new. It's going to have to be a brand new building because we can't go anywhere and stuff like that. So it's coming.
Yep. No, it's all going to be brand new, and it's going to be new technology. I mean, I'm excited for. It'll have like the electric charging stations because a lot of cars are E now. It'll have a DEF. Like before, you'd have to go buy a gallon of DEF if you have a diesel, like in the store. This will have a DEF pump, so you pump your DEF and your fuel at the same time.
Oh, cool.
And like new technology in the pumps. Like we all know those pumps. Even at the Pony, sometimes struggle. Like, so having all the new technology, all the new stuff, like, doesn't our community deserve that? I believe so.
Yep.
For sure. All right, Aaron, we'll let you get back to work and stuff. And if there's anything else, any shout outs? I know we're coming up on Christmas and stuff, but.
I feel bad for not having any shout outs to think about.
He did give a shout out to his team.
Yes.
Yeah, my operations. I mean, I got to give a shout out to all of our employees. I mean, people sometimes overlook some of the work that's happening, and there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into like the new store, what we're doing at the tobacco division, what we're doing at Ho Chunk Farms, like, and our management services team. And you guys seen what they did for Halloween with all their guys out at the statue garden. I'm excited to see what they have up their sleeve for the lights and all that.
Yeah,
those guys sacrifice a lot, and I mean, when the first snowstorm comes, they're out there. They're the ones out there clearing the streets. Like, we got to give a shout out to those guys because it's probably. I'm hoping it's a long year for them because then that means it's moisture for the farm.
yeah, definitely. It's kind of been a little. I've been noticing that we haven't, knock on wood and stuff like that, but like a real major snowstorm. We had some participation or some rain and fog and all that stuff, but I'm sure you guys are kind of monitoring.
We need water.
Yeah. So very interesting. All right, thanks, Aaron.
Yep, thank you guys for letting me come on and share some updates.
For sure. Anytime. Make sure you come back. All right. We'd like to call up our next guest, and that's Mr. Ben Crawford from the Angel Decor Museum. In the meantime, in between time, I just kind of want to let everybody know that when we do these here on the show and stuff like that, there's some pre-planning, you know what I mean? Getting the camera angles, getting the batteries charged, getting the stream up and going. And so we have really what you really have here, Ben, is blood, sweat, and tears that go into this here. So I don't know if you want to share.
Hopefully mostly sweat then.
I don't know if you want
a little drop of blood, dude. So I was like trying to run in here, like literally sprint in here. I was like, oh no. And as I'm running in here, wait, I'm sorry. Can you tell me which one over there is the full screen? Right here. Am I on it?
Let's see here. Full screen.
Right below.
One more. There you go.
Okay. But I was running in. So real quick, I want to shout out Christina. She's the lifesaver. She brought me a cold pack. But when I was running in here, my keys got stuck in the door of the truck that I was getting out of.
That's not good.
And yeah, it was just so fast. I was just trying to hurry. I slammed the door, and as I'm getting stuck at the same time, and I slammed the door, and I slammed my hand in the door.
Oh no!
I smashed a finger before, but when you smash a hand, I'm telling you, that ain't no joke. I was in here trying so hard not to cry, and Garen's like, "Are you okay?" And I was holding it in, and then it just came out. I started crying.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, they got me a cold pack and got me some ibuprofen. So I'm a trooper.
No kidding. She's probably sitting there with a broken hand. I was like, you need to go to the hospital. I've seen it. It's already swelling up. And I'm just like, wow, we don't want to gross anybody out and show it on video or anything like that. But I'm just telling you, it's like we put some hard work into some of these
we got to
streams.
stop the game and call up the stretcher. Yeah.
I know. No kidding. Huh? This is a dangerous field. We working in radio. You know what I'm saying?
Does she get hazard pay? Yeah.
And we got a game going on today, so we're gonna be right back into it. So
right. We do We do have some help. Kevin Ebert started as a multimedia in the communications and stuff. So shout out to him. He's going to be busy helping with the tribal council with their live streams and things like that. And then not only that, but going to be assisting you with some of the things and hopefully doing some upgrades. You know what I mean? Like we kind of don't know a lot of the technology, and I think that's his realm. So really excited. And he's going to be serving the whole tribe as far as multimedia coordination, because as we know, virtual meetings, hybrid meetings, all that stuff's not going away anytime soon. In fact, it's becoming a problem. You think about San Francisco, not all those people are going back to the office. And the corporations, you know what I mean? They don't decide to, they don't have to pay for the floor or for the building anymore. They just can work at home and stuff like that. So it's something that as we go into the next couple of years that, we need that, and appreciate our administration, the Winnebago Tribes Administration, our CEO, Esther Lanal, and the council to have that thought and feeling to bring that position. It's a new position in communications, so we're very excited.
Cool.
And Kevin has history down there for the Omaha Tribe. He was the IT person for a while down there, and then he also worked at the hospital.
Cool.
And so we're very excited to have him. But nonetheless, real quick announcement here. The holiday lighting contest, you know what I mean? We finally posted the prize money, and man, Ben, thank you, and thanked everybody that had helped in the past, and also
it was so fun. I wish I could do it this year. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, if you're gonna be one of the judges, and a lot of people might come up to you and buy you a coffee or something like that. No, I'm just like, but go ahead and let's see here. We got the 2023 annual Old Lady Walker Christmas Lighting Contest.
The last day to enter is December 8th. The judging will take place on December 11th. So December 8th, that's this Friday. Ho Chunk Renaissance will be sponsoring participant and judges gift stockings. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. We have coming in at 12th place and 11th place, $100 sponsored by Blue Earth Marketing. 10th place sponsored by
the Winnebago Tribes Information Technology Department. Shout out to Brandon, Teddy, all the crew down there.
That's awesome.
Keeping our computers up and going, man. They do a wonderful job.
Yes, they do.
Got 9th place for 200, Big Fire Law and Policy LLC Group.
Thank you, guys.
8th place, 300, sponsored by the Winnebago Comprehensive Healthcare System.
Yeah, thank you to David Edwards, the CEO down there. Sharon Frenchman, you know what I mean, doing a lot of good things. Erin, she helps out.
Yep.
And Erin, I seen her at Sweetwater yesterday. She recently brought on a marketing manager, so we're going to be looking forward to meeting her and stuff. So kind of a FYI. Keep going.
7th place for 400, sponsored by Human Services by the Winnebago Tribe.
Yep, for sure. Thank you.
6th place, 500, sponsored by the Winnebago Physical Resources Department.
Irita and crew, you know what I mean? They're a huge crew and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot under there. There's land management, the roads department, facilities.
Wildlife and parks.
Just
keep going and on and on and on. Thank you, guys.
And then we have 5th place for 600, sponsored by Ho Chunk Capital.
Yeah, Marshall Bass, Dennis Johnson, all the whole crew up there and stuff like that. We really appreciate them. I know that they help out with some of the kind of, how do you call it? Realty or whatever, you know what I mean? If you're thinking about buying a home and stuff like that,
And then we have, let's see here, 4th place for 800 with the Winnebago Tribal Court.
Yeah. Okay. So just kind of a FYI.
Yeah.
Appreciate the Winnebago Tribal Court, all the entities, all the workers down there and stuff like that. Yeah. But we went half. So because we looked at the poster and we're like, hey, we're putting this contest on, and Winnebago in the News always does it. The Win always does it and stuff like that. Where's our sponsorship? So we appreciate Winnebago Tribal Court and with the Winnebago in the News.
Yes.
For combining. So we're going to do 400 and then the Tribal Court's going to do 400.
All
so
right.
that person's going to get the 800. So it's kind of a FYI.
And so then into third place, we have 1,000 by sponsored by Warhorse. I don't have my glasses. So.
Yeah, Warhorse, man. Thank you for jumping on. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be moving. Omaha site is under construction. Lincoln is expanding here pretty soon. I mean, they opened their sports book. First time they're sponsoring, and we want to say thank you.
Definitely. Yes. Second place, we have 1,000 sponsored by Ho Chunk Inc.
Good job, man.
And then first place for a whopping 1,200 sponsored by Winnebago Casino Resort.
Shout out to Ray, Dina, the crew over there, man. You know, all the managers and stuff. And then we met with Lori and the crew. They came over here. Tristan, you know, they announced that they upped their wages and stuff. But as always, Winnebago, man. And they, in the years past, remember they brought that Hearts to Hands guy?
Yep. Michael Bergen.
Yeah, Michael Bergen and the crew, and they would do, man, so they just always go out of their way. So we want to say thank you to Winnebago, as always. We really appreciate it. And no hesitation, they said, yes, put us down for it and stuff. So thank you to them, and good luck to all the contestants. That's going to be Monday. Also on Monday, just kind of an FYI, we have that special vote for that one vacant tribal council seat. Just to kind of give the voters kind of an update, we're going to try to get them to put into this Winnebago in the News, which will be coming out on Saturday, a letter to the membership, a letter to the voters. So maybe you don't know all 7 of the candidates and stuff, but we'll also post that on our social media pages and publish it in the Winnebago in the News. So there's 7 of them. And there's 1 seat, and then I think it's for like a 10 or 11 month term.
Yeah.
And you know, we still our thoughts and our condolences with Louis. I know that when it to his family and stuff like that, I've been there. You know what I mean? Because he's irreplaceable. You know what I mean? And then when my father passed away and stuff like that, I was just like, I didn't know how to feel. You know what I mean? Like they talked about, you know, this vacant seat and stuff like that, and I'm sure. You know, Louis and my dad and Jim and, you know, Daryl LaPointe and everybody, they wanted to keep serving and stuff like that, but the creator called them home. Yep. So thank you to the 7 that stepped up, put their name in that, and thank you to the voters who are going to go out and, you know, there's 9 seats there, and the leadership that down there, you know what I mean? There's a lot of projects. Louis said it this last time, we need to roll up our sleeves and get to work, and that's what's going to have to happen and stuff. So everybody that put their name in a hat, man, I highly respect you. I thank you for doing that, and you know, I wish there was 7 seats and give you the opportunity. Unfortunately, there's only 1, but you know, try your hardest. And to the voters, they always make the sound decision. Brian told me that the voters are always right, so they know who they're going to select and stuff. So we'll see. And then that's going to take place on Monday. Polls will open at 8 a.m. and they'll close at 8 p.m. And then we'll announce. They'll put it up on the board down there at the Blackhawk Center, and we'll announce it on our social media page for that day. So the tribe will be closed. Just kind of a FYI, so the offices and everything. I think we'll still be broadcasting and stuff too. You know, we got the big hour.
Yep.
But nonetheless, so there's a couple of good announcements.
And then I also have this one that's going to be coming up next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Oh, boy.
We have the Winnebago Christmas dinner hams. My favorite.
For sure.
Distributing to all the head of households, to Winnebago tribal members at the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska's Food Distribution Building. Please have your tribal ID. There will be 1 per household. Be starting next Tuesday, December 12th at noon.
There you go. Yeah, man. Make sure you guys come down and stuff. You know what I mean? That really helps out. And they got some of the good stuff. You know what I mean? As far as the hams and... You know, hopefully for those households that are going to be gathering around the table, you know, bring that out and enjoy it. You know what I mean? And really, really appreciate the Winnebago Food Distribution Program for hosting that event. Also coordinating, you know, there's a truck that needs to be come down. There's that order that needs to be happening, and then
the unloading,
distribution, cross-checking the numbers, all this and that and stuff. So shout out to Tonka, the crew down there. We really appreciate them. And then also the Tribal Council for having that thought and feeling for our tribal members.
So we've had Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Now it's going to be Ham Tuesday.
There you go. Yeah. Yes.
One more thing, though, is if you do have, if you need someone to pick it up for you, they do offer that. You just have to call ahead if you're going to have someone else pick up for you. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can get a hold of them at 402-878-2799 or email food@winnebagotribe.com.
That's an easy, memorable one.
Yeah,
what was your email again? Oh, it's food@winnebagotribe.com. There you go. All right. Well, Mr. Ben Crowford, man, thank you for being here. Speedy recovered to Sunshine. I know that she's, you know what I mean? She needed to slow down, man. Every time I try to call her and talk to her and stuff like that, she was representing the museum or recreation or whatever it may be, NAGPRA and all these conferences. And they have a huge project. We're trying to bring 2 of our relatives home from Carlisle, you know what I mean? And sometimes we just need to slow down. And I think her body said that. And I know Speedy recovered you to her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She's okay. It's just kind of a FYI and stuff like that. She's just, you know what I mean? She just needs to recover a little bit and everything.
Feeling good and healthy, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, Mr. Ben Crawford, Angel Decor Museum, what you got for us today?
So, for the month of December, we got 2 big birthdays as well as many others, but 2 big ones are Henry Rocloud later this month, and of course Neola Walker right around Christmas time. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about Native American mounds. And what do you guys know about mounds? Have you guys ever heard Indian mounds, sacred mounds, Native American mounds? Does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, it does. I want to say, here's my very first. It was in geography, and I seen a mound that was shaped like a snake. They had an aerial picture, and it kind of caught my curiosity and stuff. And they said this belonged to a tribe and all this and that and stuff like that. So, but that was when I was in grade school.
Oh yeah, so way back when. What about you?
I want to say I took a Native American studies with Cassie when she was teaching up at Little Priest.
Yeah. And
I know mounds are I don't know which tribe it was, but I know that it has a lot of significance to certain tribes. That's as far as my knowledge goes with it.
Have you guys ever seen any in person?
I think that's what you asked us. No.
No? Garan?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. So, funnily enough, for me, my first experience with Native American mounds was when I went to college in Beloit, Wisconsin. It's ancestral Ho-Chunk land. All around the city and even on the campus was mounds. So, around 2,500 years ago, that's 2,500 years ago, in what we now call Wisconsin, the Native Americans who were living there started to build these mounds. And they started off as kind of little round hills, and I shouldn't even say little, but round hills. And they built them over group burials. And when we say Native Americans and mound builders, it's very likely that the Ho-Chunks and other tribes are the descendants of these people who built the mounds. Very, very likely. And because there's Ho-Chunk stories that go back even to essentially the Ice Age in Wisconsin. So I try to balance, tribal history and what the history and science says, but it's really, really likely that the mounds in Wisconsin have a connection to the Ho-Chunks. Did they call themselves Ho-Chunk yet? I don't know.
2,500 years ago, yeah.
But they definitely, there's some link, I think, very strongly believe, a strong link between the Ho-Chunks and the mounds. So that is...
I know that Wisconsin Ho-Chunks were protesting there for a while. Because they said
protect the mounds.
Yeah, save the mounds.
Yeah, and we'll kind of get to that. But yeah, so around 2,500 years ago, they started as these kind of... the covers of these big burials. And then over time, they started to build mounds that they call them linear mounds, or almost like long, straight cylinder mounds. And then eventually, hundreds of years later, they kept building these circular mounds and these cylinder mounds. Then they started to build what are called effigy mounds, or mounds shaped like like buffalo or deer or water spirits or thunderbirds. And one of the bird mounds in Wisconsin it's as wide as the Capitol building in Wisconsin. Some of these are absolutely huge. Some of these are shaped like people, and they're, hundreds of feet long. But these bigger mounds, there's only one person. Instead of a group, there's only one. And people think, was that, somebody who was a leader or a medicine person? But yeah, so this went on for hundreds of years.
Do you know how they constructed them or anything like that? Like, I was thinking like the pyramids, you know what I mean? Like they don't have the machinery that they have today back then.
I'm by no means a mound expert, but I believe it was fairly simply. Well, first they would have kind of like a mausoleum or group burial underneath it that they might line with rocks, and then they'd cover up the burial with the mound.
Oh, okay.
And it was just dirt to my knowledge. So I think using baskets, using maybe birch bark buckets, essentially they brought the dirt. And again, I'm no expert, but I don't think it was like super rocket science.
Have they tried to? I know that you guys travel to Wisconsin sometimes and stuff to learn like snow snake or whatnot. Have they recently tried to build a mound? I mean, just as a
not to my knowledge.
Okay.
No. Although we are trying to make a little small display on mounds at the museum, hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
So these were built for hundreds and hundreds of years, and then eventually, around 800 years ago, they stopped building the mounds.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah, and most of the mounds were built during what's called the woodland period, and then again 800 years ago, roughly when the Oneota period began, they stopped building the mounds. Maybe something big happened. Who knows? Wisconsin is the center of effigy mound construction in the whole United States. So ancestral Ho-Chunk land is like the center of effigy mound construction. And in Wisconsin, Daedrope, or Four Lakes, also known as the area around Madison, Wisconsin, the capital, that is the center of effigy mounds in Wisconsin. There's all sorts of mounds. There's mound shaped like elk and deer and buffalo.
Do you know, like, I don't know if this is, I thought I read it and stuff like that, but there's mounds in North America. Is there mounds like in South America or like other?
I don't. South American history is not my specialty. I wish I could answer for you.
Okay.
But, I mean, there are burial mounds in like Europe and Asia to some extent, but they're not. They're different from these ones.
Okay.
I think it's Siberia and Russia. They're called like kurgans. But
anyways,
So when they were building the mounds too, also kind of coincides with when probably the ancestors of the Ho-Chunks and other tribes were starting to plant and grow like corn, beans, and squash, which were pretty late to the game. Less hunting and a little bit more growing stuff too. And again, stopped around 800 years ago. And then the big tragedy since that time is that a lot of these mounds have been harmed or destroyed by development and agriculture. And if you look at the city of Milwaukee today, there's a lot of mounds, and like the city just
obliterate them. Yeah.
And
do you know like how? Okay, I'm thinking of a mound. I think like a little like anthill and stuff like that. It's kind of just in my mind and stuff. But like a scale for those that are listening.
So some mounds that I've personally seen are sometimes not as tall as this room, but as big as this room. The circular rooms.
Big like that?
Yeah, like I said, there's bird mounds that are the size of the Wisconsin Capitol building, hundreds and hundreds of feet across. So massive, right?
And then
a lot of the mounds around today too, because of farming, are a little bit smaller too because of plowing. But anyway,
yeah. But like on the pyramids and stuff, it just looks like a pyramid, but there's actually chambers and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's also, I think in Ashland, Wisconsin, there's what's called a platform mound. I haven't personally been there. So there's these mounds that are kind of burial mounds, and then there's platform mounds that tribes in the past actually built houses on top of.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are kind of like earthwork pyramids in Wisconsin and Illinois as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But,
yeah.
and we kind of don't have no information on, like, we were building all these mounds, and then all of a sudden 800 years ago it
stopped, right?
Yeah.
And we could do more research on that, and I'm learning. I'm
do you think
always
it's
learning. Yeah.
Do you think it's because, like, we learned how to build houses, or like?
Oh no, they had houses for a long time before and after mounds, right?
I wonder why they. That's very interesting.
Well, maybe something happened. Maybe there was a disease with the agriculture. Maybe some people got sick. Like, I think it's all pretty theoretical, and I'm still learning. So I'm sure the experts might
We're
know
all
more
learning
than me.
together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's good. That's why we have you here, Ben.
But again, you went back to the protests at the start. Those mounds have been threatened, right? Just like how ICWA was challenged. Some construction companies have challenged, there's not always a grave in a mound. We can get rid of it, right? But the tribes and this tribe may need to fight in the future to help keep these mounds protected. Right now, they are protected under Wisconsin burial law.
Yeah.
You cannot just bulldoze a mound, a recognized mound, to my knowledge. But yeah, I think it's really important, especially for Ho-Chunks here in Nebraska. Take your kids, go once in your life, at least to go to Effigy Mounds National Monument, which is just across the Mississippi River in Iowa. Go to Shadewalled Mounds in Wisconsin. Go visit a mound site in Wisconsin. I've talked to an elder who she had the chance to go visit them, and she just felt all sorts of stuff when she was near them, and like really deep inside. And I won't go into her experience, but that is a huge part of Ho-Chunk heritage. And don't get me wrong, that here in Nebraska, it's absolutely beautiful, but that's part of your heritage too. And again, we're talking part of heritage that goes back thousands, hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, that is connected to you. And so go and see that. Go with your family, take your kids, because that is a part of the physical landscape that is connected to you. And there's other mounds throughout the country too, but I think there's a really strong connection, I think, with the Ho-Chunks and the mounds in Wisconsin. And know about those, know that one day we might have to fight again to keep protecting those, and go and visit them, go connect with that, learn about that. Yeah.
You got my curiosity going, Ben. You know what I mean? Seriously, like I'm just like, my wheels are turning and stuff, like almost like where I'm probably gonna go do some research after this.
Yeah.
And so thank you for bringing that to our attention and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really appreciate the conversations.
Next time you're going on a road trip to Chicago or out east, go there. Yeah.
I just kind of have my wheels turning right now and stuff. You know what I mean? So hopefully, get some video of it or whatever it may be and stuff like that, so I can bring that back to the people and stuff too. So
yeah.
But thanks, Ben. We really appreciate that. You know what I mean? Today, Tyler, she had an appointment and stuff, so no. The answer is, I know everybody's waiting for I had a good one too, but we'll have to make sure we get our Christmas holiday. Episode of The Answer Is, because I got some good questions, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some
like,
holiday trivia.
Know your reindeer. You know what I mean? Especially Santa's reindeers. And
shout
stuff
out to Miss Spurk. We used to sing that song, and you name off all your reindeer.
Shout out to Mrs. Spurk. Yeah, there you go. We have a couple of announcements here that we want to get to, Ben, and then we'll kind of let everybody go for the day and stuff like that. But you have Family Portrait Day or something coming up?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, I believe we're sponsoring Family Portrait Day. I believe Sunshine wanted to do that, and that is on the date that is on our little poster here. August 15th. Yes, yeah. I will be out of town for that, but please go and do that. I believe we're going to be working with Savannah and her photography company there. And it's a chance for people to come and wear their regalia, wear their traditional Ho-Chunk clothes, and get a family portrait the 15th and 16th at the Blackhawk Center. You can check out our Facebook page for more info.
One of the big things is we had Black Friday, and then I think they call it Small Business Saturday. And we here at the Big Voice and stuff just want to say thank you to the sponsors that help sponsor some of our radio shows, or like the Winnebago Public School. And there's a couple of them that are small businesses and stuff that are listed, and we'll announce them tonight during tonight's game. So if you have an opportunity and you can't make it out, maybe it's a little too cold for Choka or Kaka to come out and stuff like that, have them turn on to YouTube.
Yes.
The Winnebago Public School, and Bethany's going to be producing tonight's live stream, and then we'll have our camera operators and commentators and stuff too. So, but in order for that to happen, we have to have those small businesses.
Yes.
And in order for to have small businesses, we need to support them.
Yes.
And that's very important. Is that you know, we here at the Big Voice, you know what I mean? If especially native businesses, guys. I recently did a talk at Wayne State College, and I remember the exact book, the exact class. It was a sociology class that I sat in, and in that book, man, I told this story too, is that they went down every ethnic group, you know what I mean? They talked about African Americans and some of the characteristics, right? They talked about Germans, they talked about Caucasians and Hispanic people. Then it said Native Americans, and in that section it said characteristically Native Americans have the highest rate of suicide. Characteristically, Native Americans, and based on data, have the highest rate of alcoholism amongst any other group, and we also have the highest rate of suicide, depression, and the list goes on, and the highest rate of poverty out of, you know, the Hispanics, the Asians, the Caucasians, African Americans and stuff. And I was like flabbergasted, man. I was upset, and I was just like, I looked to my left, there was a guy that wanted to be a banker. You know what I mean? So if I go in for a small business loan and that banker read that article and I'm Native American, it's highly likely the odds are stacked against me. He's going to shut the door in my face. You know what I mean? I look to my right, there was a teacher there. And so if she has a student that's Native American, you know, all that thing that she read in that book, I was freaking upset. I was mad. I wrote that publisher with the blessing of my instructor, because my instructor said, yeah, you're right. And I invited that publisher to come to our reservation and see everything that we had here in Winnebago and stuff. You know what I mean? We just had Aaron talking about economic development and kind of trying to live in those two worlds and stuff. But I tell you what, man, being a small business owner on a reservation is very tough. And so those that are in it, those that are doing it, man, you got my support 100%. Anything that we can do, anything that in my power that I can do to support you guys and stuff, you know what I mean? And there's kind of some things that we talk about. It's like the crab in the bucket. You see somebody doing good and stuff like that, you try to pull them back down because living in misery. Man, let's get them that ladder.
Pushing them up,
Keep pushing them up and stuff like that. So that's something that, as Winnebago people, I know that we're really embracing that. You know what I mean? It's not, and be envious of them, because everybody can go out there and get it. Everybody can kind of learn a trade and stuff. It's there for you. You know what I mean? Whether it's, becoming, I want to become the world's best singer. No, I'm just playing. So support me. Everybody's like, you better cut that career kind of short. You could be a broke singer. No, but yeah, I just wanted to make mention is that anything that we can do, we used to do, and we're without a WIN editor right now, but we used to do like that small business spotlight in the Winnebago in the News.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get it together this year and stuff like that. Man, we'll make it up to them. You know what I mean? If we can just highlight small business owners and stuff, let us know your information, and we'll put it into the Winnebago in the News. And, you know, the best, I guess, advertising and kind of marketing and stuff like that is PR. You know what I mean? Like, and word of mouth. My small business and stuff like that, I don't really do a lot of advertising. It's more word of mouth. You know, Garan played a lot of good songs, or his brother played a lot of good songs and stuff like that. You know, try them out. So, and then, you know, it's just been so busy trying to juggle the 9 to 5, and then also, you know, home life and everything, and then trying to maintain a small business. It's a little tough. You know what I mean? You got to find that balance and stuff. You know, everybody's coming upon the holiday stresses. You know, holiday blues. Here's another public service announcement that we want to announce here too, is one thing, take care of your mental health, guys. You know, your physical health as well. They work hand in hand. They'll talk to each other and everything too, but sometimes I noticed that, like, lately I've been really emotional and stuff, you know, and I don't know if it's because I miss a lot of people, or kind of thinking of those times where it's like
the darkest and coldest part of the year. Yeah.
And that could be it,
Yeah.
you know, not getting the sunlight
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and just kind of being inside and not enjoying the outdoors and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think there's just some people, if you feel in that way, you know what I mean? Like, just know that, shoot, reach out to us. We can get you some help. We know the numbers. We know anybody like that. Also, as we've come upon the weather time, we had Auntie Julie here talking about the emergency manager.
Yep.
And sometimes when that weather gets bad, you know what I mean? Especially after December 15th, we might have to go out and get groceries.
Yep.
Man, be careful on that road, guys. You know what I mean? Because not all the time.
Can get icy. Yeah. It can get hard to see if there's a lot of snow. Yeah.
That one time between Dakota City and Homer, there's not a lot of trees, and it was just blowing. It was white out.
It gets exciting. Yeah, it gets real exciting.
We were like,
sometimes.
whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know that you guys are trying to provide for your family and get them some groceries and stuff like that, but man, just
be careful.
Yeah. So if you can, on behalf of the big voice and stuff, those kind of three.
Buckle up.
For sure.
I think some states even have like a plow tracker where you could see where they've been to, and yeah.
Yep.
That's nice.
I always tell my kids and stuff like that, you could be the best driver in the world, you got to worry about the other one. And I didn't know, like, they come out with this program called defensive driving. I was like, defensive driving? You know, what the heck is that? But that's what they kind of preach, is that, you know, you got to be aware of your surroundings and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you could be the best driver in the world, you know, have a straight A, pass the driver's license safety course with flying colors and stuff, but you know, you got to kind of depend on the other drivers or the people on the other side, that they're paying attention. And you got to worry about these guys too, you know what I mean? Texting and stuff like that. I want you guys to try something, man. When you guys are driving up to Sioux City, look at the other cars, see how many people are looking down at their phones.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like, I notice it.
Whoa, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I ain't gonna say here I'm a saint. You know what I mean, guys? If I get an email or something like that,
probably shouldn't be having a conversation all the way between Winnebago and Sioux City, texting somebody
away.
when you're seeing people going like coming out of their lane, like just constantly. It's like, that's dangerous. You're like, should I pass him? Should I not? Am I about to see an accident here? But
yeah. Like I said, I ain't the saint and stuff like that. But my car, I need new tires. So it kind of drifts off, so I kind of have to really kind of pay attention and stuff. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
kind of forced to pay attention.
Our side, for sure. If I look down,
No, I got a bone to pick. So last night, my mom was driving me home. We was on our way up to Sioux City, and she wasn't looking at her phone or nothing, but she looked at me. She's gonna get mad at me because I'm telling this. She looked at me and she kind of swerved. I can't remember what I said. I said something, then she looked right at me when I said it. Here, she was like, kind of almost at that same pothole that I told you about.
Oh yeah,
same pothole. She don't sit that one. But anyways, we're just like, I was like, that's what you get. We started driving. A semi comes up on us. And this semi goes and just like goes around and goes to pass us. Well, there's traffic coming the opposite direction, and he still went for it. He or she still went for it. And I was just like, my mom had to slow it. I was getting her mad. I was like, why are you slowing down so he can pass you? I was like, no, like you don't slow down so they can pass. Like he should. Yeah, I was like, he should have went when there was right away.
Gotta let natural selection take its course. Yeah.
I was like, but yeah, that's just, why do they do that? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But you just got to be mindful of other drivers.
Kind of a reverse
you don't know when.
out.
Yeah. Because you don't know when they're gonna like do that, go passing you up, and there's traffic coming. And
you know, when you have a little car too, you feel that when a truck goes by. It's like, or when there's like loose snow on the ground, they'll just bring like a little cloud of snow, and
for
it's
a couple
like,
seconds.
I hope I can see soon. Yeah.
Where did it go?
Gets real exciting. Yeah.
It gets real excited.
Hope the road doesn't turn. Yeah.
All right, folks.
Real quick, Garan, before we go off, I got one more announcement. I seen that their annual Winnebago Angel Tree is in full effect. So that's with the Winnebago Comprehensive Healthcare System and the Winnebago Public Health Department, but it is put together by the dental department. So together we can provide holiday gifts to children. They will be accepting donations through now until Monday, December 11th, which is Monday. So you can check out them. If you want to know more information on how to participate, you can give them a call at 402-878-2465. That's the Winnebago Dental Clinic with the Winnebago Comprehensive Healthcare System.
I love it. You know what that means, right?
WCHS.
Yeah, but after that, they usually bring, they really bring, they bring Santa. I can't wait. You know what I mean? I'm so excited.
Karen's like, you know what that means? It's like, yeah, WCHS. He's not talking about Santa.
One of these years, this is just a suggestion, because clearly I'm not enrolled here. I want to see Ho Chunk Santa with applique on his red Santa
that'd be
costume.
nice.
Gotta get it. Maybe
Dang.
we could call up Blue, maybe somebody else. Who knows? Gotta get Ho Chunk Santa in there. Because I'm not going to name names or anything, but a year or two ago, I was at the gym, and they had the lankiest non-native guy as Santa, just really skinny.
Santa didn't eat good that year.
No, Santa was on the keto diet, I guess. But yeah, I'm like, you guys are missing an opportunity.
That's a good one, guys. All right, well, we better get off the air, man. We'll see you guys tonight for tonight's game, which starts at 6 o'clock as we host Pender Pendragons, I believe.
Yes.
And girls varsity is followed by boys varsity. Good luck to the teams. Play well. I know that last Thursday, the Winnebago Indians came away with a couple wins, right? Mm-hmm. The boys and
the girls, yep.
And then I think they played the next night down in Walt Hill.
I believe the girls won against Walt Hill. The boys took a loss against Walt Hill.
In a nail biter, right?
Yeah.
It was a good thing and stuff too. So, learn. We kind of call it like the preseason.
Yeah.
And then after they come back after the holiday break, you know what I mean? That's when they start really trying to kick it in and stuff. So, live action, Winnebago Indians taking the court here this evening. So, folks, you guys have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. I hope.